Hello everyone. So I've just we're looking at the joint of the arbor. So this here, this bit here, it will be cut on an angle of 44 degrees roughly, and it's going to connect up at the top here at a 44-degree angle to the other piece of timber, which we'll cut on the other side over here. So we're looking at cutting this on an angle, but adding an extra notch in to that angle, and we'll call that a joint. So this piece of timber specifically, it's got a few rounded edges and a few unwanted notches, so it's difficult to mark it out on both sides perfectly. So I've only marked it out on my side so that I can follow this side of the cut. And I just need to make sure I'm doing really straight cuts and really precise from my side so that it carries through to the other side as well. And then we can chisel back any excess later on. So I'll just start by scoring to the right of that line, to the outside edge of that line. So just slightly blowing away any excess material. Then once we get a good score happening, we'll start to go back and forth. And when we score, we want to carry it through to the other side, and like I said before, it needs to be really precise and straight. So I'm just slowly and lightly going back and forth on the cut. So I'll just readjust so that you can see more clearly. Alright, now that our teeth is grabbing a bit more on the saw, we can go a bit faster. Just blowing away any excess. So from this point onwards, I kind of lost the audio due to the saw being a bit too loud for my voice and not being able to hear my voice over the saw. But basically all that's happening is I'm starting to speed up with the saw now. I've finished the scoring process on the top. So I've created a big enough groove that my teeth can grab in. I can just go back and forth with the saw without having to worry about the saw jumping out of the groove. And that's the main priority when you're first starting the cut, is you're trying to create a big enough groove so you don't have to worry about the saw slipping out of the groove and damaging potentially the rest of your work. As you can probably tell, due to the movement of the saw, the camera is moving about a lot, so you can't always see it, but you get the idea. And it's actually more important to focus on what's happening with the saw than the timber at the moment, because the motion of the saw is what I really want you to understand. So all that's happening is I'm moving the saw on an upward diagonal angle, and then I'm moving the saw on a downward diagonal angle. And it creates a little peak in the middle of the cut. And then every so often I'll flatten it out, so I'll just do the saw perfectly horizontal to flatten out that peak. That allows you to just cut through it a little faster. It allows you to get a really close to the line or whatever you're cutting to cut at the bottom, which is very important. There you go. Now I'm nearly done the cut. Alright, now that's a good looking cut there. This here is the other side of my joint. That's the end of it, that line there. Now this is the other side that I just cut. So that's a pretty straight cut, as you can see. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this bit off as well. So this will be all the excess. And then we're going to cut that bit out and that bit out so that it's on an angle like that. Alright? Now hopefully you can see that a bit. But yeah, well, I can definitely see it, but it's a bit harder on the camera. So what was that saw that I just used? This one here. That is a tenon saw. Alright?